Lovely jacket, grandfather, his voice cut through the cacophony of the high school as one of the classmates made fun of him. Jim, in the center of the crowd, stood a teenage boy, silent and rigid, wearing a worn olive-green military jacket. The patch on the sleeve was faded and frayed from age, softened by time. Most kids saw it as a costume, while some thought it was a joke, but to him it was sacred. Someone snickered. "Did you get that from your granddad's closet or a thrift shop? You seem to be acting like a soldier, dude," another voice added as the laughter got louder. A few children even started filming and panning their phones toward the front stage, where a highly decorated U.S. Army general was watching from the podium. However, while everyone was preoccupied with their cruelty, she noticed something that no one else had noticed: the insignia stitched onto that jacket's arm. Her posture stiffened, not out of anger but recognition, and her eyes were locked on the boy. She descended the stage, and as the room fell silently, her heels echoed across the polished gym floor as students turned in confusion and whispering among themselves. She approached the boy directly, and then, to everyone's surprise, she saluted him. The air was sucked out of the room, everyone stopped breathing, and the boy looked stunned. She lowered her hand and asked in a voice that was suddenly softer than anyone had ever heard, "Where did you get that jacket?" "It was my dad's," the boy replied, "Sergeant Matthew Rolston, who wore it during Operation Redditch." The general stepped back, clearly shaken, and her throat tightened as emotion broke through her steely composure. She turned slowly to face the students and pointed to the boy's sleeve, which belonged to the 117th Recon Division, one of the most prestigious and unsung units in modern military history. They conducted covert operations deep in enemy territory without parades or headlines. They only had folded flags. "You didn't just honor him today, you reminded all of us what sacrifice looks like," she said, turning back to the boy and placing a gentle hand on his shoulder. Silence gripped the room like a vice sergeant, and he saved my life during an ambush. Without him, I wouldn't be standing here today. Now, his son stands in front of you wearing his father's memory while you mock him for it." The general nodded, and the youngster gulped hard. "I just didn't want to forget him," he muttered. "You didn't, you made him unforgettable." The pupils who had previously laughed now turned their heads aside in embarrassment. "You didn't know," she yelled, "because you never cared enough to ask." One girl started crying, and the kid who had started the joke tried to murmur an apology, but the general gave him a stern look. She turned to face the crowd and yelled louder now, addressing each student, instructor, and phone-holding individual. "That jacket is more than just fabric. It's a symbol of bravery, loss, and heritage. Brands and trends can be used to gauge a person's value, but that boy is dressed in something made of blood, discipline, and honor." Then she did something unexpected. She invited him to the stage, proudly walked him up, and allowed him to stand next to her as she concluded her speech, which was not about her accolades or accomplishments, but rather about respect, dignity, and how the quietest person in the room can sometimes be the strongest. She ended with silence, the kind that makes you think, and then one by one, students stood up to applaud, not because of peer pressure, but because they understood that they were clapping for him. Not for her, for the jacket, for the man to whom it once belonged, and for the boy who wore it like armor. After the assembly, students lined up to apologize, thank him, and inquire about his father. He didn't say much because he didn't need to. The jacket had already said it. That day, a school full of kids who thought they were cool discovered what true cool looked like: not loud, trendy, or viral, but faded, quiet, and unwavering, because honor commands attention, not demand it. Before we conclude this tale, please let us know where you are watching from, whether this story moved you, and whether you subscribe to the channel. Respect doesn't come with fanfare. It comes with humility, and sometimes the bravest person in the room is the one being laughed at. Press the like button and leave a karma comment underneath.